This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day. Carefully crafted for you by humans, so meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Fully Managed podcast. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you, Michael, for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Shannon, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today we're going to start with a game, get these creative juices flowing, get excited about, being co-founders working together. I'm sure that's always something to navigate through. So this game is called Whose Catastrophe Is This? So I'm going to give you a bunch of scenarios that may have happened to you, might happen in the future. And you guys are going to tell me which one of you would deal with the problem.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
Let's go.
So, okay, first one. A major client threatens to pull their account over a miscommunication with the sales team. Who deals with this?
Vlad will deal with it.
Yeah. By the nature of what I'm doing right now. So yeah, 100% me.
Beautiful.
We are kind of switching. So I was head of sales originally for a couple of years. And then Vlad stepped in. So it's one of the great things about having co-founders that are generalists. You can pretty much switch every couple of years, and it gives you this fresh perspective on the team. Plus, obviously, when you do this, when you're running your business for like 10 years, it's very difficult not to burn out, right? So you probably burn out and you don't just know this, you don't realize it, but you do. So by switching the hats, it really helps to just kind of feel like, oh, now I'm running a sales team. It's a new skill set. I want to learn it. So you're more excited often.
Yeah, I actually really like
100%.
that. It's a very progressive way of looking at things, because I think that a lot of people are like, if you're good at something, you should just do that forever. And I don't think that ever makes people very happy unless it's something that is,
That's true.
Maybe their favorite thing to do. And honestly, a lot of times when something is someone's favorite thing to do, it's once you make it into a work thing, maybe it isn't as exciting after you're doing it for so long. So it's cool that you guys are able to switch around.
But also, like, think about problem solving, right? Like when you are wearing a marketing hat all the time, you think about problem of marketing from marketing standpoint. Like, I am a marketer, so like, how do I build top of the funnel, whatever. If you're a sales, you're like, oh, how do I, convert bottom of the funnel? But only when you transition from sales to marketing, from marketing to sales, you can actually care about both top and the bottom. So you can think about the full funnel, right? So a great thing about being a founder, and you can actually dive into so many different aspects of the business. Then you can then you can pull experience from one side of the business to another, and in this way, the problem solving skill it's much more developed than just with one aspect, right?
Yeah, no,
100%. Actually, one more thing to add on top of that, it's always good to have a fresh perspective on whatever you're doing. It's have a fresh breath, and it's always helpful.
Sometimes I tell Vlad, like, honestly, I'm just giving up. I'm like so annoyed with this. Can you just jump in? Can we just jump in and take it from here? Like, honestly, like if I do this one more time, I'm gonna kill myself. And he's like, sure, no problem. Let me do that.
No, I completely understand that. I think that when you're in a certain mindset for a really long time, it's hard to think of new ideas. It's not necessarily that you're not good at that position, but it's just that you need a different person to talk to about it, even if it's just talking to them. But switching positions entirely is something that is even more interesting, because you have like a completely different perspective coming in and being able to come up with new ideas, which, may prove to be really successful.
Yeah.
We have our next scenario. Okay, so your CRM completely crashes during a high volume email campaign and no backups are working. Whose problem is this?
I don't know. We can both handle it, but probably it really depends again who is in charge of what in that current moment. So, and again, also depending on the difficulty. I guess if it go to extreme difficulty, and I have my kind of unique ability to solve extreme things, and before that, probably Michael can handle anything.
Yeah. So it's gonna be the answer is yeah. We have a marketing team so that I'm in charge of. So yeah, we're gonna solve it within marketing team. So it's gonna be me.
Perfectly fine. It's also fine to work together. You guys can say both of you if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right. Next scenario, you get a last minute invitation to pitch Belkins in front of Fortune 500 execs, but only one of you can go. Who goes?
And Michael, you see his environment where he is doing this webinar podcast. Sorry,
Right.
it's the deal for that kind of meetings.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Are
But Vlad will make the deck. So Vlad will create the deck.
Mm-hmm.
He will put it together overnight and with the team, and then we together gonna refine the numbers, share some ideas, and then I might pitch it. Yeah. Yeah. But I think like it rarely happens. Most of the time, if there's a pitch, then Vlad is there. Yeah, because he's more involved into kind of finding the resources for the business to grow. In terms of again, businesses need resources, right? Connection, partners, funds. So Vlad is typically the one who are going out there and kind of building those strategic, relationships. And then sometimes I do that, but yeah.
This is awesome. It sounds like you guys complement each other very well. It's not often that you see that with co-founders. I think there's butting heads a lot in the business world, but it's really cool to see that you guys are able to, what your strengths are and you know how to build on that and be able to create something that's really wonderful.
Yeah, I think the ego thing
True.
is very important here, right? So when the other person doesn't take it personally, right? So because we are all people, we have a good day, a bad day. I can have a flow, I'll be out of flow, and it's important just to kind of be there for each other, support, but then also you have a good day, you do that. I can do this, I can step in. So just kind of change it. It's like in any relationship, right? We just kind of switch and share and kind of support each other without putting yourself in front of the other person. But and when you do, both of you do that, then you just have this amazing relationship going on. So
do you
100%.
guys ever disagree? Has there ever been a point where you kind of like strongly disagreed on some kind of business decision, and like how do you work through that when that does happen?
Sure. I guess there is none kind of relationship without arguing about anything or something at all. So we always have like our own perspectives on the things. So, and this is the good thing why we are switching our roles over the time with working with the people, because they have different like points of view. But sometimes, yeah, we disagree. That's pretty natural for any businesses or any relationship. So yeah.
just to add on this, I think like again, when you disagree, it's very important to understand where you're pushing too hard. So sometimes, especially I am kind of being an extrovert person, so I sometimes can push Vlad too much, and so and then when I feel that all right, I'm stepping to the danger zone, then I'm just backing off and say, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't worth it, or like, yeah, I understand. So, or like if Vlad see that I am taking initiative on something, then he's like, yeah, sure, whatever you want to do it, that's fine. So again, it's just kind of you need to understand what's more important for you, the relationship that you're building and that you're doing that the long term, or that quick action of dopamine in the blood that I won, or I'm the right guy, something like that. And you don't need that, right? So it's not healthy. So
yeah. No, that's a good thing to be able to acknowledge, because I think that there's many founders out there that are very proud, and that's very fair. I mean, like, you've created something that's really wonderful. I mean, like, it's good to be proud of your work, but I think sometimes that pride can get in the way of like 100%. Making proper decisions in which are the best for the company and everyone involved.
You're right.
Yeah.
You need to be aligned. And this is maybe the secret sauce for other co-founders. You just need to be aligned, and yeah, you can reach whatever you want, whatever you
Plus,
like, whatever you wish.
we're in people business, so companies are built by people and they're built by teams, right? So it's not whatever we are doing with Vlad, we're just two out of several hundred people that are making success every day. So it means like, why do I need to put myself in front of him, or we need to put ourselves in front of our team if we're all doing that together? We just have different roles, right? But at the end of the day, with that perspective, you always know that, as you mentioned, there are people that can do this better. There are people that are just amazing in this, right? And you realize that, and you just try to make things work by utilizing the resources you have, by coordinating with people, like making things happen. Just kind of, I call it like in tech, like deploying, like finishing, getting across the finish line, right? And that's what kind of the founders are. But at the end of the day, it's like a team effort. So we're doing that as a team.
Yeah, no, I think that is really wonderful. You guys are able to navigate that while also understanding that, there's other people involved that you also need to understand, and it's not just you two, which is, I think kind of the problem with maybe other organizations or companies in which like that's not considered.
Yeah. You're not above your organization. So it's like we are serving our team, right? So we are employees of the team. So we are making everything we can to make everyone, happy, fulfilled, accomplished, successful, and so on and so forth. So if our team and our clients that we're serving, then, and the same, we are like serving each other. So in this way, you like kind of, I like the concept of serving leader in a way, right? So that you're serving from the front, and as a result of that, it always helped to just know your place and know, what you can do and cannot do. So
yeah, it's very important to be able to acknowledge what you're capable of, and also how to like delegate as well, because that's something that is really hard for a lot of people. So like, speaking of other companies that may do this or may do that, so for scaling sales efforts, what is something that you guys kind of see a lot of other companies make the mistake of, and why do you think that happens?
You can start, Michael. Yeah.
Okay. So depending on the size, probably, right? So let's say I am running a startup or a small business that is growing. One of the really large mistakes is bringing sales team too late. So right, or too early. For that matter. So if I'm bringing my first sales account executives too early and trying to delegate and say like, all right, like now I brought you in, you close this. And I personally hasn't been able to do any closing myself, or just a little of the closing. So things going to go south very quickly, right? And you're not going to be able to change anything because you haven't been able to build experience in that. Or if you're bringing people, sales account executives too late, and you're just always closing as the founder, and you don't have a structured sales team, you always feel that you're chasing, and you cannot kind of, if you're kind of focusing on something else, then your pipeline dries out, and then again and again, and going on cycles. So I think that's just a major problem for folks.
And also another problem is especially for like people who is not involved in sales or managing sales team or other C-suite that like within the company, that most of the time people do not diversify or like completely understand sales feedback, because you need to have a certain mindset to work with clients, and you need to fight for like getting them close, to like provide them with value, and you can always be like overhyped up about that. And when a sales executive will share his like opinion or feedback, or they will need any help for anything, it will be always like, we need now because like entire city will burn or something. And this is probably related to like each and every step or each and every process of maintaining sales department, because this is related to process, this is related to working with clients, this is related to like basically anything. And if you wanted to like fix something or improve anything, you need to have or be involved in this kind of sales mindset, and you need to be in the same page as these people who kind of serving your clients, working with your clients on the daily basis. Because this is like over the years, I see that there's a certain type of people, certain type of soft skills you need to have in order to be in the sales. And other departments have other skills, obviously.
Yeah, but being to Vlad's point, being like a client-driven or sales-driven organization is important these days, right? Like all the oceans are red, and especially from executive standpoint, a founder, like all the founders should know how to close deals, and they always think about generating clients, and taking sides of your sales team and your client team is important, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I think to both of your points, I think that there is everyone kind of believes that they do need this kind of sales effort, of course, but there's also like a time and a place, exactly what Michael said, of the idea that there are many agencies that I speak to that are getting their clients solely based off of referrals. Like they don't really have a sales strategy necessarily, and that's okay because they're doing great work and they're getting referrals. And honestly, that's usually preferred by any company of that, you're likely getting a better client through a referral. But I think that a lot of them feel the need to have a sales team based off of that. And maybe they didn't fine tune it, or they weren't ready to have that. And maybe they're not getting the proper leads that they want or whatever it may be. And that could end up kind of at a detriment to the company where they're not thinking of all of these different things that they have to think about before fully fledging this.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
But yeah, I think that it's something that a lot of people don't acknowledge is that there's a lot more to the process than just adding a team member. It's something that it's also like that founder who might have been doing the sales approach this entire time. They have relationships with these people that they might be passing on to a sales rep, which is not necessarily the best thing because, this is inorganic. Like it's not something that, like they might not know enough information about this person, or it might not feel authentic to that possible client or that prospect because they don't know this new person that they're being in contact with.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you guys have any unconventional strategies that you've kind of used in your process that actually went surprisingly well? Or maybe if you have a good story of one that didn't go well, that's also, I'd love to hear about that.
For sales strategies, for building a pipeline?
For sales strategies specifically.
Right. So just kind of closing, you mean clients?
Yep, closing, like an outbound strategy.
Oh, okay. An outbound. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So obviously we've done all the outbound strategies you can imagine, so over the years. Yeah. Like we're the first, we're early in the game where you can actually send 100 cold emails and get, 50 responses, right? Because all the emails land in the inbox and, everyone is sending out HTML type emails. So if you send a short sales message, then everyone is like, oh, what is that? They probably a person sent that, right? Like not the cadence. Like no one knew what the cadence was, right? Back in the day. And now, you have cold emails landing to your inbox hundreds a day, right? So if specifically talking about like an interesting outbound strategy, like Vlad, we've been one of the best in the cold email game for a long time, we've sent some interesting emails. Like for example, I could create a template where in that template I kind of message you something like, hey Shannon, and you're my assistant. Like, hey Shannon, can you reach out to Vlad about the meeting with them, because we've just closed this amazing value for a client of ours who is in Vlad's industry. So I would love to show him and maybe talk with his organization. When you book a call, let me know. So I kind of create this template, and then I kind of put that on the bottom of the email, and then I send like on your behalf, like, hey John, I'm writing you on behalf of Vlad, and we wanted to book a meeting with you. Let us know when you're available. And then you see my kind of message that, my message to Shannon in a way. And this is a template, right? So I can just put the variables as all like, so if everyone's thinking that I am messaging my assistant to reach out to those people, right? But actually it's just a template, right? And then you just have a lot of variables, a lot of like, and then the subject could be like, Vlad asked to reach out to book a meeting. And then you open like, book a meeting about what? And then you read my message to you. And then you're like, oh yeah, makes sense. And you respond. So yeah, just one of the examples.
I really like that one because that's really making me think about all the emails that I've received back from you specifically. Was it just you this whole time? You're revealing your secret sauce.
Yeah. Oh, you mean that you've chatted with our assistants? Yeah. No. It's like for cold email. It's for cold email mainly, so not for coordination.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, it's understandable. I mean, like everyone's busy as well, so it is really helpful to have that kind of automation for something that, I don't think it's impersonal to create a template that seems personal, because that, I mean, you're still thinking about that. You're just not necessarily, you might not have the time to send out personalized emails every time, but something that seems personal is still, it still shows some care in your process, which is important. Want to feel like.
Yeah, but it's just one of the playbooks, right? You can have hundreds of them. It's just depending on who your clients are, what channel they prefer, what time of the day you want to be, or like generally, what kind of message they prefer, right? You can go with the more formal, more informal. You can have more personalization. You can have more relevancy, right? Like I received so many cold emails with like my partner Alex received an email saying, hey, you and I both speak Italian, and then start using something like that because that person found that on LinkedIn, Alex had like Italian as one of their languages, and it's strange, right? It's like, why does it matter? And then I'm with Salesforce, and then you follow up like I'm with Salesforce, the CRM software, right? And you're like, yeah, why? So you can focus more on the relevancy. Maybe you're not going to be as personalized, but the relevancy of your message could be more emphasized, right? But again, I think it's just the playbook. I think you can go with very originals these days with like AI. But the question is like, do you need to be original, or it's better to go classic, simple message, relevancy, pain points?
You need to be effective.
Right. Exactly. So what's more effective? So.
Yeah, the shared Italian thing is like, okay, there's so many people that speak the same language. It's like
there's so many lunatics. That's crazy.
Oh, I get some funny emails. I'm sure not as many as you guys probably do as a founder. You probably receive an incredible amount of funny emails, which I would find very interesting to look at.
Yeah.
But it is very funny that people will find this like this common trait, but it has nothing to do with the point of the email. So it's not really like it makes sense to find something in common that's helpful to kind of relate to someone that's new or incoming. But if it has nothing to do with the point of your message, then it's not really helping your cause. And I think a lot of people miss that point.
Yeah. But you also wanted to kind of to get your email open, right? Like how do you be the one who is actually get open and get responded to? So people are doing a lot of crazy things to kind of stand out, right? So yeah, some are more desperate ones. So
I think you also don't want to lose someone as well, like in the process, because a lot of people will. I think most people, especially founders, because they're getting so many emails in their inbox, hate wasting their time. And to get a very simple hi, hello, or like something that
100%.
Is not really. No one wants to have small talk via email. No one wants to have small talk really. In general, but via email is that much worse.
I got a cold call yesterday, and the person was calling like, "Hey, is this Michael?" It's Michael Maximov. Yes, that's right, Michael Maximov. Hey, Michael, Sahil, calling with this company. We do lead generation and appointment setting, and he started that, and I was like, "Hold on,
my
Sahil."
favorite.
And I was like, "Hold on." I said, "Hold on. You do have what company I'm with, right?" Yeah, you're with Belkins. Okay, yeah, Belkins. Do you know what we do? It's like, yeah, you're like a media company. It's like, oh, media company. Do you have a laptop in front of you, Sahil? It's like, yeah, sure. Can you go back? Can you go quickly and just open Belkins.io website? Like, just do that for me real quick. Can you do that for me? It's like, sure. Are you opening it? Yeah. And he's like, oh, so you were in lead generation? I said like, yeah. And he's like, okay.
Nice.
And they're like,
Really?
Neil, you're amazing, by the way. So you handled it very good. But yeah, you're a good caller. But next time, just do the research. And then obviously I finished with like, if you wanted to, because he was very pleasant on the calls. Like if you decided to kind of change your company,
And join
or
Belkins.
something like that.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wasted time of not realizing that you're literally calling a competitor
Yeah.
or that you're calling some
Happens all the time.
5-minute, not even probably 30-second LinkedIn look up your name. I think that would be pretty.
But it was like he obviously saw it. He probably had someone like sourcing leads that sourced us as the media company, and he was just on the call all the time. So, but the way he handled it, he was like the moment of silence. He's like, oh,
this poor guy. Well, speaking of miscommunications, you guys do deal with like a lot of global teams. Do you think that like how does a like cultural differences implement or impact the way in which you guys do outreach or relationship building?
Interesting.
Actually, that's a good question. And there's a good answer for it. Obviously, we have a lot of teams across the continents, majority in the US, Europe, UK. So we are actually dealing with a lot of different cultural things. And there is a book actually about that called Cultural Differences. Not that creative book, but still good one.
I'm gonna write that down.
Diving deep into kind of examples, how different, for example, head of sales from Boston going to working to Paris to some French company, and how like she or he don't understand what's kind of happening with the French culture at all. And back in the US, she was a great like head of sales, like did their KPIs, but and French in Paris, it's completely disaster. She cannot like do anything about them, because even though how friendly like American way she's talking to the people, they just don't understand and don't want to like do the work, and they can like say whatever they like, and she can like for example, they will say like, we will do the job, we'll do the meeting, we'll close this quarter. Okay, that's it, and no one do nothing. So there is a lot of bad examples in that particular book. I strongly recommend that, and how we handle it. So maybe since we are from day one, like as American company working with American clients, we, like Michael and I especially, we cultivating culture that we are, no matter where we are, we actually sharing the same values, same vision, mission, and this actually important thing to the company eventually, and everyone aligned on particular like goals or OKRs or particular like metrics, and eventually it's like serving our clients the best quality of work and results and everything. And I think that's the main connector for everything, no matter where you are, like in California or in London or in Singapore, whatever.
We have about like 95% of our clients are US based companies. So, we're at the end of the day, our playbook is, American playbook. And although the teams are based globally, to Vlad's point, they're all are, our public holidays are US holidays, like they work US hours, and we all speak the same language and kind of have similar kind of values mentality-ish. And that's why the playbook is mainly with approaches and the specifics of how you do business in the US. Now, if you are, our client-facing teams are mainly US based, and then the delivery team, they're also outside the US. We have a kind of a mix of roles. So kind of people from different cultures, from England, from South Africa, from Ukraine, they can work together to kind of get that kind of culture. But they obviously bring their own specific cultural aspects into the play, which is great to kind of work together, right? You can kind of share those unique features of each culture. But at the end of the day, you're still kind of leveraging that same playbook that kind of unite everyone under the same roof, which is, again, I think like the more unifying factors are in this company, the more everyone kind of is on the same page. Because as long as you start kind of dealing with like every different we are not as that big yet to be able to adjust the operation of the company within a specific location, because that might create uncomfortable conditions for the other location, right? And we are working in sync. So if one part of the company is not fully operational at the time the other company is, then it could be is miscommunication, which we don't want. So
yeah, like speaking of that, how do you think like internal culture plays in the success of a sales-driven organization?
It's so the two things that are very important are three things actually. First, it's kind of celebrating wins, right? Like everyone is celebrating the win. So you're celebrating wins not only with regards to, you close a new account as a sales executive, but also the success we've drew to a client. So so our account managers, SDRs, like everyone celebrating success across the board. So everyone, everyone is seen and everyone is celebrated within the organization. This is very important across the board, right? The second thing is the open communication in terms of where we are at. So everyone in the organization have access to all the numbers in terms of like, okay, this is our objectives are for the months, for the quarter, for the year. This is where we are at. This is our pacing is at. This is what we do for clients. This is how we do it. And everyone through that over communication all the time, through weekly meetings, monthly, quarterly digests, company newsletter, updates in Slack, like everyone kind of is on the same page, right? So these are two things that are kind of really embedded in the culture that allow us to kind of to move forward. And then the third one are the key values and principles. So we have a couple of key four key principles that we're using to hire people. So we have a culture interview as one of our final interview processes. And then when we give feedback, we also are adhering to and referring to the principles. So if one of the principles is empathetic partnership, then if there's no partnership involved in a certain decision making, then it's against the principle. So we've got that feedback that also helps to kind of align the organization and kind of move forward effectively. And then I think like just the last thing is so when we think about the sales driven organization or growing organization, it's always an ever changing kind of transformation. So you always are transforming, you always are growing. It's never stable. So you always are, something is changing, right? So when you are taking you're taking sides and you say, all right, like we are client driven and we are obsessed with clients, but then for example your marketing or your sales teams are struggling because they cannot close all the clients because like you don't allow them, you have some qualification criteria, and that your top line revenue is suffering and the team are suffering and they're like, we don't have a good condition. So the way you do it is, as the company is transforming, you're always are trying to wear a hat or change sides. So you always are saying, okay, so next couple of months we're going to be more marketing focused, and like, okay, how we can take a market, and then go to delivery team, and then go back to sales team, and then go back to the admin team. You always sort of like are trying to make this work like a flywheel, so you're never static in one direction. And as a result of that, all people within the organization are aligned, as well as they all think that they cared, and then that sort of like things are changing for them and they're evolving and they're growing and they're heard, right? That's important, and they can impact the decision. So I think like this couple of points are that something that helped us to see success in building an effective global sales driven organization. Yeah.
And there's one more thing, like last but not least, that everyone was like available for everyone. Like myself, Michael, we always available in Slack, email, like any chat, WhatsApp, and we always there for like any question, any help, and we like really like to jump on the call with people. Like doesn't matter, or with clients, and everyone appreciates that.
Yeah, we have this rule that you can message people when you want, but they can respond back to you when they can. So it
Yeah.
means that if I'm working in the US, like in Los Angeles, I'm going for a conference and I'm in the Pacific time zone and people are in Europe. So for me, it could be 3 o'clock and for them it could be like 10 p.m. or like 9 p.m. Right. So usually for night, you have like a notification off type of situation, right? So you don't bother anyone. But if I'm working right now and I can message you, that's fine. So that's kind of help a lot. So you don't feel obligated to, oh, I need to respond to Michael, or like, oh, I cannot message that person because it's already too late. I'm doing that tomorrow. So you spend double time thinking about this today and then thinking about this tomorrow, which doesn't make sense.
No, I really love that. I think that the transparency goes into that a lot, because that being readily available, but also, being able to respond when you can, is showing, respect to your team that will be in different time zones. You can't expect them to answer in the middle of the night.
That's right.
Yeah.
That would be cruel. But it's also with that transparency, there's also that that evidence that, you're working towards something at all times. Like, you have goals and they're aligned, so that, when someone doesn't answer, you're not like, oh, they didn't do work all day, or you don't have to like micromanage people or anything like that, which I think is like a good balance of, I know what my teams are doing at all times. All my teams know what is happening at all times, because when you have such a separation between teams and they don't really understand what one team is doing or working towards, I think sometimes there's this mentality of like, well, what are you doing if you're not answering my message? And that
in our team, it's a bit different, just because every part of the company is so important for the other. So it's like, if our lead sourcing specialists are not sourcing leads, then the entire campaign is jeopardized. So like, if our SDRs are not booking meetings, then the clients are not happy. If account managers are not building strategies, then the clients are churning. If the sales team are not closing, if the marketing is not delivering the lead. So you can pretty much identify what's up in business just by looking what's not working, right? And because everyone knows that, oh shit, if I'm not going to do this, then I'm going to let other people go. And they're so supportive. They're really doing their best right now. They wanted success to happen. Then I need to change. So typically people are self-managed, they're self-motivated, and they really wanted to kind of push for the other people. They're doing that for them. So
I think that's a great moment to end on, because we are a little over time, but I do think that was but I do appreciate that is how not only is like foundationally how your team is working, because that shows a respect for one another, but also the fact that, in order to be successful, you depend on people from other teams, because it's all part of the process. And it's easy to, when having that transparency, to be able to see what's working and what's not. And that's kind of all you're looking for, especially with people that are in so many different time zones. To be able to always see what's going on everywhere else is something that is really crucial.
100%.
I really appreciate you guys joining me today. This was really fun. I never get to talk to co-founders, so I thought this was fun. It was cool to know the dynamic between you two, and the company in which you serve. I think that it's really amazing that you guys are able to work in the way that you do, and to be able to transfer roles and be able to, keep things spicy,
that's right. Yeah. Thanks for having us, Shannon. It's been really great.
Thank you,
great
Shannon.
fun.
Of course. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for listening. We'd be nothing without you. I hope you guys were able to learn from Vlad and Michael like I did today. And thank you so much again.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.